to the regular season finale for the 2023 Winter Custom Cup season, heading into the Spring and Summer Custom Cup winters before the fall break back to the Winter Custom Cup seasons here for the regular season finale at Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia, for what should be a very fun, interesting race, especially with how the playoffs are shaping up. A couple drivers in must-win situations, a couple drivers that just need to have a good day to get in, and some people know they're in. Like the 9 drivers that have won over the 14 races we have completed this season. 0.75 mile oval. A one-of-a-kind track, very similar to Iowa where Addison Stone won at, but he has a win, obviously, because he won at Iowa, locking him into the playoffs. Today's race will be very exciting. We're almost ready to find out who is going to win the regular season championship, who will make the playoffs, and who will still be racing next race at North Wilkesboro, but won't be racing for a championship. But first, let's take a look at some track information and race information about the race here at Richmond. Richmond Raceway is a 0.75 mile oval. It's a tri-oval, but the finish line is located more towards the end of the tri-oval. It's a very heavily sponsored track by Toyota. Toyotas usually do good here, which is good news for some of those drivers in must-win situations, but most of the drivers that are in must-win are Chevys. Most of the Toyotas already have won. Today's race will be 60 laps around this 0.75 mile oval, so a little bit under 60 miles. Today's race probably probably about 55 miles around Richmond. Now let's take a look at the drivers to watch for, and some drivers who could be winning this year's regular season championship. He's the only driver to win more than 2 races this season. He's the points leader by 10 points. But those playoff points will give him a big boost at the top of the standings racing Jets as the current points leader going into the final regular season race. Definitely the favorite to win the regular season championship, but there are multiple drivers behind him that could steal it. 2 wins on the season, 10 points back. Daisy Stone in second place, the only other driver that has a chance to pass Getz in the standings. But there are multiple drivers that could battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, such as Terry Hansen, who's 34 points back on the leader. Now we gotta take a look at some bubble drivers too. He's been so close so many times this season. He's 19 points off the last spot for the playoff bubble. Luca Marina, and the driver next to him, Ben Hemmer, is 34 points back in a must-win situation. Both of those drivers on the bubble, both of them with a win, would get themselves into the playoffs. He is 19 points to the good, just needs a good day today. The 4 of Ethan Hansen, 19 points above the cut line. All he has to do is finish, I believe, in the top 10, and he will lock himself into the playoffs. Actually, because there's 31 drivers, all he has to do is finish 12th or better, and he'll lock himself into the playoffs. Unless someone without a win wins, then he would have to win. He's on the pole for today's race. One of those winless drivers, Jake Hemmer. Look out for him trying to race his way into the playoffs with a win here at Richmond today. Now we are ready for the 60-lap event to determine the regular season championship and the playoff drivers. Right about now. The pace car leads him through turns 3 and 4, and the green flag is in the air at Richmond. Who will win the regular season championship? Coming into turns 1 and 2, still side by side for the lead. As they come off of turns 3 and 4, not a sight anyone without a win wants to see. With Jake Hemmer out front, but now a big run down the back straightaway for the 24. Coming into turns 3 and 4, now off into the trial with the 24 is going to lead lap number 1 and is going to clear the 3 coming into turn number 1. Gonna pull down, cut the nose off the 3. With the lead is the 24. If they come down the back straightaway. Coming into turns 3 and 4 for the second time today. 3 out of the top 4 drivers do not have a win yet this season. Ethan Hansen is in 15th. All he has to do is finish 19 spots worse or better than the 15. And the turns 3 and 4. The 24 with the lead. The 15 is going to slide up the track a little bit there. Anthony's fighting his way through the field back there on the 4. Knows he needs to pass a couple cars before the 15 gets to the front. Needs to do everything he can to make sure the 15 does not win. Sorry for the background noise. There's a fast running. As they come down the back straightaway, he's all over the bumper of the 27 of Toby Stone. He's going to try to take 11th away from the 27. He is coming up through the field like a rocket ship. He knows he needs to pass a couple cars, so they cross the finish line to start lap number 5 out of 60 here at Richmond. Back up front is the 24. As we're going to crank it up a little bit early here, so enjoy it. Back here at Richmond, the 24 is pulling away. A dog here is getting bass. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Lap 10 out of 60. They cross the stripe now. Lap number 11. The 24 is pulling away. And Ethan Hansen is starting to lose Luca Marino, who's 7 points ahead, which means Ethan Hansen currently sets 12 points to the good. But still, 3 out of the top 4 are winless. These 3 are all battling for the last playoff spot. One of them, if they catch the 24, will win it all in the regular season. Not like the first place, but just get the ultimate prize of making the playoffs. Right now, Grayson Getz only needs to finish 10 spots worse or closer to Daisy Stone. Right now, he's doing that. Daisy Stone 2 points. 2 spots. I can't talk right now. 2 spots ahead of him. 8 points with the points lead. The green M&M's car has been fast all year long. As it's a 5-car breakaway. There goes the 88 trying to get up the inside of the 15. That's exactly... Alright, be right back again. Sorry, we're back. 15 out of 60. Don't forget about lap traffic. As they're coming into turn number 1, while the 24 is halfway through turns 3 and 4 with an over a second lead. Starting to run away, looking for his second win of 2022 is the 24 of Terry Hansen. Not many side-by-side battles on the track. Oh, Grayson Gess is going to fall outside of the top 10 here. Going to lose a spot to the 27. Ethan Hansen is up in the 10th, trying to get by the 11 for 9th. Back up front is the 24. This 4-car battle for second is starting to heat up. They got a train of cars about a second and a half off that. By train, I mean like this are all single file all the way back. Justin Stone has been great the last couple races. That's not good going into the playoffs. No side-by-side battles on the track except for this battle for 29th with Carter Simser and Michael Mall. And 31st is Delaney Lombardo on the 10. Coming down the back straightaway, we're about a third of the way through this race. Into turns 3 and 4 with the lead, the 24, by about a second and a half. But it doesn't even have the fastest lap of the race. That prize goes to the 88 of Adam Hemmer, but their lap times very, very close together. The fastest lap of the race today, 22.405. And the car, out of all the cars, their fastest laps, the slowest, 22.835. Only 0.4 of a second slower, so they're only losing. The last place car is only losing about a second a lap now on the leader. All these guys back here. Now there's some side-by-side racing here. Right at the tail end of the top 20. Battle for 21st right now. There's not many cautions at Richmond, so we might not get one. There's a move to the inside. Gary Murphy having one of his best races of the year in 19th, trying to get by the 7 of Isaiah McGlinty for the 18th spot. Back up front, the 4 of Ethan Hansen still running in 10th. Look at the run for the 27. Through 1 and 2, he's going to slide way up the track. As they are not anywhere near the 88. Those guys are not anywhere near the 24. Go on the rear bumper cam of the 88 just to show you how far back it is. To 6th from 5th. You can see how far back they are. Go on the front car of that lead pack. See the gap. Ethan Hansen now up into 9th. They're trying to get into 9th. They're side by side for 9th. Still only 5-6 spots back. He's still good in the playoffs. Luca Marita does not need to see Ethan Hansen getting bigger in his mirror. He's turning some very solid laps right now. They're still side by side, but the 4s had the preferred line about the entire lap. Although the outside looked a little bit faster on the restart, the 24 jumped out to an early lead on the top lane on the first lap. Hasn't looked back since, and there's a 2-second gap to everyone else. Now the 4 is going to clear the 11. The 11 might lose a spot to the 27 here too. The 4 is up in the 9th. And now his next target are 3 drivers in a row with, actually I don't know if the 22 has a win yet either. Josh Hemmer in the 22. Don't believe he has a win yet. This is one of his best races of the season. You take a look at the standings, the 22, 23rd, without a win on the season. So this is a huge race for him too. He's one of the must-win drivers. And right now, the battle for a regular season championship is going to heat up a little bit. Getz running in 12th, and Daisy Stone running in 7th. Only 5 points to the good right now. If Daisy Stone wins this race, and the bonus playoff points from winning the race, she could take the regular season championship right out of Grayson Getz's hands before we head to the playoffs next week at North Wilkesboro. And then Pocono. As Ethan Hansen now trying to work it on the outside. He's going to get a run through the trial over here. 24, our leader. Look at the lead. Got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a massive gap back to everyone else. Another sizable gap. Watch him from this angle. Here comes the 24, who's about a quarter, maybe a third of the lap behind lap traffic. As lap 29 out of 60, we are halfway done at Richmond. There's the last place 10, there's the 24. Hansen does move back to the inside. There goes the 27 up the inside. Another must-win driver in the top 10. If we can get by the 11, which he's not gonna here. Bumper to bumper here. This battle is pretty calm. And out front, the 24 is continuing to pull away. 6 crosses 6th place. The 22 has crossed the stripe. The 31's up the inside. The 4 is up the inside of the 20. Jets does not need more cars trying to beat him in the regular season standings passing him. And Maria does not need Hansen passing cars if he's not in the lead, which he's in 4th right now, 3 seconds off the lead. Side by side by side. Got 2 by 2 by 2 there. They know what's on the line right now with the regular season championship, or even a playoff spot here. Especially that 27 car, he has been making moves all race long. He knows what the job is. Question is, can he do it? As Hansen, now the 20, look at the 20 making a run on the outside. And the 20 just made a pass on the outside. That is exactly what Guess needs to see. The 4 might make a pass on the outside here too. Trying to sneak up into 8th. And it is gonna. The outside line's starting to pick up a little bit. And the 11 sees that too. Guess is trying to get by the 27 as he's in desperation mode. As he knows that Daisy Stone is still after Daisy Stone is getting passed. Perfect for Guess Marina. You can't see him in his mirror, but theoretically, that 4 car getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and his playoff hopes keep shrinking. Because he is running in 8th. And I think the 4 is a pretty fast car if he can just sneak on by the 20 and the 22. He might just be in a race for the lead, and here, look at this. These guys, the 5 and the 3 and the 15, they all know what they need to do. They know that they need to win to get in. The 5 and the 3, you'd think would draft each other up to the front. And the 15 is trying to win, and the 88 is just there. But an extra playoff point going into the playoffs would be nice. Fastest lap of the day, 22.405 by that 88 car, who now puts Marina on even more pressure. And Hansen might make it 3 wide here. They're gonna go 3 wide into turn number 1. The double pass, possibly. 3 wide down the back straightaway at Richmond. Ethan Hansen knows what he needs to do. Aggressive move. He's going to get a shove from the 11. There's going to be a run in the trial on the outside, and Hansen might not get any of them after almost getting both of them. Can't quite stick it by the 20. Now he is. A double move, trying to put him up into 6th. But he's over 4 seconds off the 5. Off the 15, I mean, 5th place. Very interesting racing here at the regular season finale at Richmond. He's clear of the 20. Or cleared the 22, trying to get by the 20. And now the 22, after having such a good run, is now starting to lose his playoff hopes. I think it's a 1 pit stop race. Now the 5 is starting to run away. He just gained on the 24. No one has done that since like the 2nd lap of the race. So the 5 car is really fast. Has 20 laps to catch him. Can he do it? Now back here, the 20 was able to pull down in front of the 4. And now we're checking on the 5, who is pulling away from the 3 and catching the 24. Is he going to get within 3 seconds? 3.09 lost him by the tiniest bit. It was only like 20 thousandths of a second slower. Side by side for 3rd, the 88 is very quick too. The 22, what happened to him, dropping all the way back to here? Marina still running in 5th with 20 laps to go. Now 19. Here comes the pit stops. I don't know if this is scheduled. He's the only car coming down pit road. Yes, it is scheduled. Another car follows him. And 2 more cars follow him into the pits. 40 miles an hour in the pits. These guys know that. And pitting early, we're about to find out if it was the right call. You're going to lose 2 laps on pit road here, most likely. As the leaders come by, they didn't pit this time. They're still not pitting. So maybe these guys all had problems. Because no one else is following Hansen in the pits, which means this might not be the strategy. And now you have to hope a caution doesn't come out. Because this is like your championship season. Your hopes of a championship are resting right here. That yellow flag could determine someone's season fate. It's gonna be tight. No one else is coming into the pits. A couple guys came in, but no one else is making the call on the pit road. Ridiculously slow lap times, though. The 5 is catching the 24, and the 4 is gonna keep him busy, and he's catching him. So these new tires, 22.891. Almost a second faster than the 24 that lap. So these new tires are a second a lap faster. But no one else is coming down pit road, which means pitting might have been a bad idea. And Hinton is well over 19 spots. 22 spots behind him. He needs to pass 3 more cars, which is about to unlap himself to the 10. It's about to be lap traffic. Now if the 5 catches the 24, which it looks like he might, it won't matter what he does here. You can see the speed from this 4 car. On these new tires, pitting probably would have been the way to go. He's over a second a lap faster than everyone else. But still, no one is coming down pit lane. As we have reached lap 49 out of 60, 12 laps to go. And these new tires much faster. Hansen can go 90 in 3 and 4. Everyone else is only going 85. And the 4 is going ultra aggressive. He's already gotten like 3 seconds ahead of the 24. So pitting is the way to go. Oh, look at that move. That was tight. And he is flying, knowing exactly what he needs to do. Look how fast he gets up to the bumper of another car. That might have been the fastest lap of the race. 22.919. Still over a second faster than all the other old tire users. Olivia Hinton just ran her fastest lap of the race on new tires. It's gonna take him 3 wide, so much faster than these old other tires. And he is right there. He might get around the track and catch the 10 again. And he has the track to himself right now. The next car to catch will be unlapping himself from the 16. But right now has the track all to himself. There's his fastest lap of the race. A 22.469. Nearly 2 seconds faster than everyone else. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and no one else is pitting. No one else is pitting. He might miss the playoffs. He's still 27th. He's not close enough to the 15. I don't know if the 4 is going to get in. Down the back straightaway. The 5 is catching the 24 in this lap traffic too. Don't forget that. The 5 gets by the 24, it won't matter. There's the 24, there's the 5. 5 laps to go now. Less than a second back. Ethan Hansen, look at this. Creeping his way back around the track. Nearly 2 seconds a lap faster. Still about a whole straightaway back. Or farther on Delaney Lombardo. Not looking good. No one else pitted. I don't know what the deal with pitting was. If no one else did. I mean, their tires have fallen off by 2 seconds. As lap traffic not being very helpful to 5. Not being helpful to 24 either though. Three more laps. 0.6 of a second behind. The 5's gonna need a miracle run here. 2.5 laps to go for the 5, trying to get into the playoffs. He needs to dive bomb the 48 here. He's not gonna get him. 2 laps to go. And the 24 is gonna get a second win of the season. The 5 isn't gonna get in. The 15 is gonna take the last playoff spot, I think. The 4 is gonna be too far behind. The 5, there it is. He needs to get by the 6 this corner too. If he wants a shot at the 24 on the final lap at Richmond. Not gonna have it. The 24 is gonna get a second win of the season. And Luca Marina is gonna get into the playoffs. Heartbreaking Ethan Hansen. Into the final corner of the regular season. Led all 60 laps of the race. The 24 is gonna be getting his second win of the season. But Getz is the regular season champion. Grayson Getz, the regular season champion. Your regular season champion is Grayson Getz at Richmond. Grayson Getz, the regular season champion. When we come back, we'll see who waited into the playoffs. We're still waiting for some data to come in. Grayson Getz, your regular season champion. Burning it down at Richmond. The first ever regular season champion. The 2 other seasons did not make it. But now Grayson Getz. He won 4 races this season, didn't win this one. But is the regular season champion at Richmond. Next week going to North Wilkesboro to start the playoffs. We'll see you then.